Hello students, in this video we are going to study hyperbola, especially the basics and the results and what are the concepts in hyperbola. That's what we are going to study in this video. Already you studied parabola and ellipse. So those who prepared ellipse, it is very simple. In just 15 minutes you can finish hyperbola. So what are the changes, that alone you have to study. Okay, otherwise very similar to ellipse only. There are only a few changes. Okay. So you know for parabola the eccentricity is equal to 1. For ellipse eccentricity lies between 0 and 1. For hyperbola eccentricity is more than 1. Okay. So for hyperbola, in ellipse we studied there are two types, right? So hyperbola also there are two types hyperbola. Parabola there are four types. So hyperbola there are two types I said. The first type hyperbola is like this. This is the first type hyperbola. And the second one is, it is on the other axis, y-axis. Okay, so these are the two types of hyperbola. And the standard equation of hyperbola is x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. What difference here? In ellipse it is plus, right? And b square is equal to a square into e square minus 1. In ellipse it is 1 minus e square, right? So if you reverse a minus sign will come, then minus become plus. Equation also you can see the same thing. Okay, but why we are writing e square minus 1 here, you know, e is more than 1, otherwise there will be negative 1, right? So e square minus 1. So this is the first type. And second type, how to identify, that's very important. In ellipse, how you identify the two types of ellipse? Both look similar, right? X square by plus y square by equal to 1. We see the denominator. So greater, smaller, first type, smaller, greater, second type, that is in the case of ellipse. But in hyperbola, it's not like that. X square by 25 minus y square by 9 equal to 1. This is hyperbola of the first type. X square by 16 minus y square by 25 equal to 1. This is hyperbola of first type only. This is also first type. So we never look into the denominator. We never look into the denominator. Greater, smaller or smaller, greater. X square by minus y square by equal to 1. It is hyperbola of the first type. Then you may ask, then what is second type? Listen, second type equation will be y square by a square minus x square by b square is equal to 1. So this is second type. Okay, so for example, suppose the question is x square by 25, sorry, not x square, y square, right? Y square by 25 minus y square by 16 equal to 1, or y square by 9 minus x square. The second term is what? X square. X square by say 25 equal to 1. Both are of the second type only. So smaller, greater or greater, smaller, that we are not checking here. You see how it starts. If it starts with x square by first type, if it starts with y square by second type. Okay, in between minus, so you cannot reverse it. You cannot reverse the order. Right side value must be 1. Okay, so this is the second type. But how can I identify a square, b square? First one's denominator is a square, second one denominator is b square. Don't see whatever you have in the numerator, whether greater or smaller, nothing. So here in this example, what is a square? 25. This is a square, this is b square. In the next one, this is a square and this is b square. 25 is b square. Always the first one is a square, second one is b square. Here, the third example, this is a square and this is b square. So this is a square and this is what? B square. So this is a major difference in hyperbola. So the identifying, that's very important. Okay, so now please listen, I'll give some examples. Suppose x square by 16 plus y square by 25 equal to 1. This represents what? So just make it thorough with this one, then you go for the other area. This represents ellipse. Why? In between plus is there, so it is ellipse. ellipse of first type or second type? Ellipse of the second type, because in ellipse we see the denominator, greater, smaller, first type, smaller, greater. So this is of the second type ellipse. Okay, now this represents what? In between minus is there, right? So it is a hyperbola. It's a hyperbola. First type or second type? You see how it starts, x square by. So first type hyperbola. Okay, so hope you understood. What is a square here? 16. And what is b square? 25. When it is an ellipse, second type ellipse, what is a square? Greater number. So 25 is a square and b square is what? 16. Okay, so hope you understood all these things. Now I'll explain, I'll give the derivation of this hyperbola. It's almost similar to ellipse. So those who prepared will be very easy. Those who not prepared ellipse, better you learn that first, then you come and watch this video. Okay. So this is the first step. So this point is center. Center is 0, 0 only. Center is 0, 0 like ellipse. This is one vertex, a, 0. This is another vertex, minus a, 0. So focus will be inside the curvature. It is AE, 0. That AE only we are writing what? C, right? AE, 0. And other one is minus AE, 0. Then there are two directrix also. When there are two foci, there are two directrix also. But in the case of ellipse, so focus is here, so directrix is here. Another focus is here, its directrix is here. But in the case of hyperbola, see, when the focus is here, its directrix will be here. When the focus is here, the directrix will be here. Okay, so this is L1, this is L1 dash, and this point is Z, and this point is Z dash, this is C, this is S, this is S dash. So all the results are same as ellipse. Center is what? 0, 0. Foci, there are two foci. AE, 0, minus AE, 0, or you can say C, AE only we take it as C, right? AE, 0 and minus AE, 0. And vertices, A and A dash, it is A, 0, minus A, 0. Then CS equal to AE, we are going to see the proof in derivation. C is equal to A by E. Exactly the same results. Equation of directrix, x equal to plus A by E and x equal to minus A by E. Everything same. But to find eccentricity, there is a different formula. In case of ellipse, eccentricity is equal to what formula? You study root of a square minus b square by a, right? But here it is a square plus b square by a. So like this you compare and study so that you won't make any mistake. Okay. So how we are getting this? In hyperbola, b square is equal to a square into e square minus 1. So that is e square minus 1 is b square by a square. So e square is equal to this minus 1, take that, will become plus 1. 1 plus b square by a square. Take LCM, e square is equal to, take a square LCM, you will get what? A square plus b square. Take square root of this, you will get this result. Denominator square root of a square is what? A. So like that only you are getting this result. Then b square is equal to a square into e square minus 1, right? If you expand it, a square e square minus a square into 1 a square, that is b square is equal to, the a is c. So a square e square is what? C square minus a square. Or you can say c square equal to a square plus b square. So try to remember all these values. Then you know what is lattice rectum. Length of the lattice rectum, 2b square by a. Same formula what you studied in ellipse. Okay. And another thing, in ellipse, two axes, right? In ellipse, this axis is called major axis and the other one is called what? Minor axis. So major axis and minor axis. In case of ellipse, right? In the case of ellipse, we have two axes. Then in hyperbola, the major axis only, here we call it as transverse axis. We never call it as major axis, but it is a dash only, the length is 2a, everything same. Equation is for the first step, along, it's on x-axis, so y equal to 0, everything same. But we won't say major axis, and we call it as what? Transverse axis. And instead of minor axis, we name conjugate axis. This is another difference. Okay, so transverse axis, A dash, transverse axis, the length is 2A, and conjugate axis, the length is what? 2B. Okay. So that's all the theory part. And focal property, that also I'll give the proof. In ellipse, we studied focal property. F1p plus F2p is equal to 2A. Sum of the focal distances in ellipse, sum of the focal distances F1p plus F2p is equal to length of the major axis 2A. But in hyperbola, the focal property is the difference of the focal distances. So difference means greater minus smaller or smaller minus greater. So we take the absolute value. Okay, so greater minus smaller. So it depends on where you take P. So F1P difference. So instead of minus, we use the symbol difference. So F1P difference F2P equal to 2A. Same 2A only. But in the case of hyper, there we say sum of the focal distances equal to. Here, instead of sum, you have to say difference of the focal distance equal to. There, 2A, we say length of the major axis. But here, 2A, we say length of the transverse axis. Are you able to understand? Okay, these are the changes. I think with this idea, in this video, I'm not going to teach any sums. So we are going to see the derivation of hyperbola, then how to find length of the lattice rectum 2b square by a, then focal property. Okay, so these are things I'm going to teach. And in the next video, I'll be teaching sums using this. Listen, first, just I'll give the brief simple proof. Then I'll show the steps, what are steps you write for the exam. So here, same assumptions only. So A dash is 2A. So C is the center, it is 0, 0. S is the point, the first focus, it is AE, 0. But how we are getting, we are going to see that. And S dash minus AE, 0. And for the first focus, there is a directrix. So we take it as Z. And another, for the second focus, there is a directrix, say is a dash, right? So first, we did that in 3 phases. You are remembering? First, we take the 2 points, A and A dash, lies on the ellipse, but here lies on the hyperbola. So SP by PM equal to E, that condition we used, then cross multiply 2 equations. That's the first part. Then adding the 2 results, one answer, subtracting another answer. Then finally, let P be a point on the conic. SP by PM equal to E, you will get the answer. Same thing here also. So A is a point on the hyperbola. So SA by AZ. Already I said when you take this focus, you have to use this directrix. SA by AZ equal to E. If you cross multiply, SA is equal to EA dash. E into AZ. Then A dash is a point on the ellipse. So use the same focus S. SA dash by A dash is that, right? Because when you use this focus, you have to use the same directrix only, right? So SA dash by A dash is that. SA dash by A dash is that equal to E. Cross multiply SA dash equal to E into A dash is that. Okay, this is the first part. Now, these are the 2 equations you have. So you have to add them and subtract them. So you'll get 2 set of results. So when you add equation 1 plus 2, when you add SA plus SA dash equal to E common AZ plus A dash Z. SA plus SA dash, see the diagram, do you know SA plus SA dash, we don't know. In such case, you write in terms of what? C. SA, so this length, SA can be written as CS minus CA. CS minus CA plus SA dash. SA dash, this full length, right? SA dash can be written as, right in terms of C, CA dash plus CS. CA dash plus CS. Equal to E into, see the diagram A is at. AZ is this portion, AZ plus A dash Z. So that means you are getting this full portion, that is A dash, right? So that length is A dash, and you know what is A dash? 2A, right? That will write to the next step, A dash. In the left side, you can cancel two terms, CA and CA dash. Both the lengths are equal, each equal to A, one is plus, one is minus, so cancel. CS plus CS, that is 2CS equal to E into A dash is 2A, cancel 2 on both sides. So you are getting CS equal to AE. That is the reason the focus is what? AE comma 0. Now, instead of adding, now you subtract it. So 1 and 2, which length is greater? SA dash. So equation 2 minus equation 1. In ellipse also we did the same thing, right? So what do you get? SA dash minus SA is equal to E into A dash Z minus AZ. So see the diagram, SA dash, this full length, SA dash minus SA. From the full length, if you remove that portion, you will be getting A dash, right? So here left side is A dash equal to E into, right side we don't know, so we write in terms of C. A dash is Z. Just see the diagram and try to find out which length is A dash is Z. A dash is Z. This length, right? Can you write in terms of C? CA dash plus CZ. CA dash plus CZ. Then minus is there, no? So put a bracket. Minus AZ, this part, AZ. Write in terms of C, CA minus CZ. CA minus CZ. So now that minus you multiply. So AA dash is 2A, E into CA dash plus CZ minus CA, minus into minus is plus CZ. So cancel CA dash and minus CA. So 2A equal to E into CZ plus CZ is what? Twice CZ. Cancel 2 on both sides. So you are getting CZ is equal to A by E. So two results. The same thing got it in ellipse also, right? Now you take a point P. Let P be a point on the ellipse. What's that point? X comma Y. Let P be a point on the ellipse. Then you can say SP by PM equal to E, right? SP by PM perpendicular. SP by PM equal to E. P is a point that steps and all, you're right. SP by PM equal to E. If you cross multiply, SP square is SP is equal to EPM. Square it. SP square is equal to what? E square into PM square. SP square you can use distance formula. X minus AE the whole square, right? X minus AE the whole square plus Y minus 0 the whole square. X minus AE the whole square plus Y minus 0, that is Y only whole square, into, that is E square into, now PM square you write, right? So you find PM separately and substitute. How can you find PM? For that you draw a perpendicular line and you take it as N. So now this PM is equal to what? NZ, right? PM is equal to NZ. So PM can be written as NZ. And that NZ we don't know, so write in terms of C. NZ can be written as Cn minus Cz. Cn minus Cz. Cn is X because X coordinate of P. X coordinate of P. P is X coordinate means that length only, right? Cn, that length is X and Pn is what? Y. So what can you say? X minus, so that length is X, minus Cz. See, what is Cz? Just now we proved it is A by E. Cz is what? A by E. Take LCM as E, you will get Xe minus A. So this is PM value, substitute here E square into PM square. PM square means numerator square it, Xe minus minus A the whole square, divided by denominator square E square. So you can cancel this E square. Now just expand it, A minus B the whole square, A square, minus 2AEX plus B square, A square E square plus Y square. Right side also A minus B the whole square, X square E square, minus 2AEX plus B square, right? So minus 2AEX you cancel. Now group X terms. these two terms. So x square minus x square e square plus y square. Remaining, take it to the right side. Already in the right side, one a square. This plus a square e square also take it to the right side. So minus a square e square. So in the first two, you can take x square common. You will get 1 minus e square plus y square equal to, take a square outside, 1 minus e square. So right side I want to make it as 1. So dividing every term by a square into 1 minus e square. So x square by a square plus y square by, what do you get? A square into 1 minus e square equal to 1. 1 minus e square is negative, right? Because e is more than 1. So 1 minus e square, you can write it, reverse it, but you put a sign minus. Minus e square minus 1. So that minus you give in the middle. Here you put minus and you reverse it. So x square by a square minus y square by a square into e square minus 1 equal to 1. So this denominator only, we take it as what? B square. So you are getting x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to 1, where b square is equal to a square into e square minus 1. Okay, so hope you understood the proof. Just explain one more time, please listen. This is the diagram. So a dash is equal to 2a, ca and ca dash each equal to a. Now 2 points on the hyperbola. What are the 2 points? A and a dash. So SA by A z is E, SA dash by A dash z is E. So you are getting 2 equations. Adding them, you are getting one result. From there, you are getting the focus. Subtract them, greater minus smaller, you are getting C z is equal to A by E. Then PM, we are finding separately, right? PM is same as what? NZ, and that is X minus AE. Then you take P is any point on the hyperbola. SP by PM equal to E, cross multiply, square it. Then simple calculation. The last step, the plus you change it to minus, so you reverse it. 1 minus e square, you write what? E square minus 1. And this is your answer. And don't forget, right, where b square equal to what? A square into e square minus 1. Then when you expand it, so you can, this is the derivation, you write only up to this. Okay, so the relation, this already explained. C square equal to a square plus b square. Now the properties, already explained the properties. Then I said there are 2 types of ellipse. So how to identify, you know? If it starts with, so in between minus is there, and the right side value must be 1. Then denominator, first one's denominator is a square, second one denominator is b square. It is common for all the hyperbola, first type or second type. First one's denominator, right side value must be 1. Then in the left side, 2 terms, the middle there should be a minus sign. First one's denominator is a square, second one denominator is b square. Greater, smaller or greater. We never see that one in hyperbola. Now we see the numerator here. If it starts with x square, first type, instead of if it starts with y square, second type, that's all. Okay, hope you understood the 2 types. Then formula for the second type, you know, same formula, just to change. A comma 0 minus a comma 0 focus, vertex for the first type. For the second type, 0 comma a, 0 comma minus a. Same way, focus, everything. And axis, I said the name change, right? Don't say major axis, minor axis. We say transverse axis and conjugate axis. Then focal property, I said there is a change, right? In ellipse, sum, but here difference. Equal to 2a, that is length of the transverse axis. Now let us see the results one time. Same results only. Actually, I given the table what I given in ellipse only. So only small change in the equation only there is change. See the equation, I'll tell you what changes I made. So here equation changes, x square by a square minus instead of plus 1. But second type entirely change, right? Y square by a square minus x square by b square is 1. Center remains same. I think I no need to explain all these things, h, k, what to add and all, because already parabola, ellipse we did. Once you know the center with 0, 0, then for hk, you know what changes you have to make. Vertices, same results. Focus, same result. C equal to a. Length of the lattice rectum, same result. Equation of directrix, same result. Equation of lattice rectum, same result only. Length here, only one change. Length remains same, only the name change, right? Instead of major axis, we say transverse axis. Length of the transverse axis, length of the conjugate axis, and the equation. For the first type, the transverse axis is x-axis. So the equation y equals 0 for the second type, x equals 0 and so on. Okay, now just two more results I want to teach you. One is focal property and another one is how to find length of the lattice rectum. First I'll explain length of the lattice rectum. Length of the lattice rectum, you know the answer, it is what? 2b square by a. Length of the lattice rectum, so semi-lattice rectum, half of that, right? Then equation of lattice rectum, what is lattice rectum? Perpendicular focal chord, right? So through focus, say this is AE, 0, right? So through focus you draw a perpendicular line. So that is lattice rectum, right? So this is one lattice rectum. Like that you can draw one more, the other side. Okay, now listen, this is LL dash. So I'm taking this length as y1, semi-lattice rectum. So the full length is what? 2y1. Same as what we did in ellipse. So can you say the coordinate of L? The x coordinate is AE, y coordinate is y1. So what's the method here? We say we start with equation of hyperbola. Equation of hyperbola is x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to 1. So now we know a point on the hyperbola. What is that point? AE, y1. Before that you can introduce y1. What is y1? Let LS equal to y1. Let LS equal to y1. So since AE, y1, lies on the hyperbola, that is actually one end of the hyperbola, right? On the hyperbola. So the point must satisfy the equation. So for x you put AE and y you put y1. So x square, that is a square e square by a square minus for y, y1 square by b square is equal to 1. So we want to find y1 from here. So a square cancel. So now take this negative term to the right side. So you are getting y1 square by b square is equal to e square minus 1, right? So we want y1, so we find y1 square equal to b square into e square minus 1. We don't want that b square minus 1. So you know, we have a result, b square is equal to what? A square into e square minus 1. So find e square minus 1 from here, b square by a square, right? So that value substitute here. So y1 square is equal to b square into e square minus 1 can be replaced by b square by a square. Take square root, y1 equal to. When you take square root, b square 2 times, so write 1 time b square. A square root is a. This is y1. So now we want therefore length of the lattice rectum. Length of the lattice rectum is equal to 2y1. That is 2 times b square by a units. N points you know, same as ellipse, so I don't want to waste time. Now let us go for focal property. So the statement also you study. The absolute value, already explained why we write absolute value of the difference. So in ellipse it is sum, but here it is what? Difference. Difference of focal distances of any point P on the hyperbola is what? Length of its transverse axis. Length of its transverse axis. Focal distances, see, you know there are two foci. One focus, so I'm taking here, this is the first focus, S1. Or you take S, another focus you take it as what? S dash. Take a point P somewhere on the, here, on the hyperbola. Now, focal distances. So distance from focus to that point, okay, so this is one focal distance, right? This is one focal distance. And another focal distance is, so from here to this focus, right? So these are the two focal distances. So difference of the two focal distances. So S dash P, that is a longer one, right? S dash P minus SP. So we have to prove it is equal to what? 2A. And we know the result, SP by PM is equal to what? E. So when you take the first one, what can you say? SP by PM. When you use that focus, you have to use only that directrix. SP by PM. This is M. Okay. SP by PM is equal to E. And when you take the second focus, SP by PM dash. So please listen that very carefully. SP by SP is already there. PM dash. So PM dash means to the second one, second directrix, because we are using the second focus, right? So this you take it as what? PM dash. Okay, now please listen here. Let SP, let P be a point on the hyperbola. Let P be a point on the hyperbola. Then SP by PM is equal to E. S dash P by PM dash equal to E, because we are using the second focus. First one you cross multiply SP by PM equal to, SP is equal to EPM. And the second one is S dash P equal to E into PM dash. The ellipse it is addition only, so just you add it, but here you have to find the difference. So in the diagram you can see the greater one is S dash P. So depends on where you take P. Suppose if you take P here, then SP will be greater, right? So depends on the position. So you subtract them, so what you get? S dash P minus SP is equal to E into PM dash minus PM. You see the diagram, what is PM dash? See which length is PM dash? PM dash means the full length, PM dash minus PM. From this you remove this part. So what you get? You will get mm dash, right? You will get mm dash. Again you see the diagram, E into, what is mm dash? Listen, this mm dash is same as what? Z dash. Both the lengths are same because two perpendicular lines only, right? So mm dash can be written as Z dash. But Z dash can be written as 2 times CZ. Hope you understood that. Z dash, right? This full length is equal to 2 times CZ, because C is the midpoint only, right? It's the center. So that is E into 2 into CZ is what? A by E. So E cancel, you are getting 2A, and that 2A is what? Length of the transverse axis. So S dash P minus SP equal to 2A, hence proved. So this is focal property. Hope you understood this. That's all the theory part in hyperbola. So prepare all these things, compare and study ellipse and hyperbola. So a small changes so that you prepare. Next video, I'll teach the sums in hyperbola.